Welcome to my channel. Before we dive into the video, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has firmly rejected U.S. President Donald Trump's imposition of severe tariffs on nearly all Canadian goods. The newly implemented 25% tariffs represent an aggressive economic attack that could significantly harm Canada's economy and disrupt trade relations between the two nations. Trudeau condemned Trump's decision, calling it an unjustified and harmful move that could have severe consequences not only for Canada, but also for American businesses and consumers. In a news conference from Parliament Hill, Trudeau did not hold back in his criticism of Trump's actions. He accused the U.S. president of attempting to create an economic collapse in Canada, believing that such a downturn would make it easier for the United States to exert control over its northern neighbor. Trudeau declared that Canada would not be intimidated and vowed to fight back with full force, stating that when it comes to defending Canada's sovereignty, there is no price too high to pay. The Prime Minister made it clear that these tariffs were not only completely bogus and completely unjustified, but also a reckless attack on a long-standing alliance. He warned that this trade war could inflict massive job losses, fuel inflation, and significantly damage the economies of both Canada and the United States. In his speech, he appealed to Canadians, urging them to remain strong in the face of adversity, while also addressing Americans directly, emphasizing that Trump's actions would negatively impact their daily lives. In response to the U.S. tariffs, Trudeau announced immediate countermeasures. Canada has already imposed tariffs on an initial $30 billion worth of American goods, including various essential products. In the coming weeks, additional retaliatory tariffs worth $125 billion will take effect. Furthermore, Trudeau hinted at implementing additional non-tariff measures should Trump refuse to back down. The Prime Minister underscored that this was not a conflict Canada had sought, but rather a necessary response to the aggressive and unjust trade policies imposed by the Trump administration. He addressed American citizens directly, urging them to consider how their government's actions would impact their economy, increasing the cost of everything from groceries and car parts to medical supplies and construction materials. During his speech, Trudeau directly challenged Trump, referencing a recent Wall Street Journal editorial that criticized the U.S. administration's trade policy. He sarcastically called out Trump, saying, "Donald, you are a very smart guy, but this is a very dumb thing to do." His remark was aimed at highlighting the self-destructive nature of the trade war, which could harm American businesses and consumers just as much as it could hurt Canada. Trudeau also dismissed Trump's claim that the tariffs were being imposed to combat the flow of fentanyl into the United States, calling it a weak excuse used to justify a political maneuver. He pointed out that Canada had already taken significant action to curb illegal drug trafficking, investing $1.3 billion in strengthening border security. Despite these efforts, the U.S. still moved forward with tariffs, leading Trudeau to argue that the fentanyl justification was merely a pretext for economic coercion. Trudeau did not mince words when describing the long-term damage that Trump's trade war could inflict on the historically strong U.S.-Canada relationship. He warned that Trump's aggressive policies could fracture one of the most successful economic partnerships in history. At the same time, Trudeau criticized Trump's apparent willingness to collaborate with authoritarian leaders, drawing a stark contrast between his treatment of Canada and his openness to working with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The United States launched a trade war against Canada, their closest ally and friend, while simultaneously talking about working positively with Russia, he said. Make that make sense. Trudeau acknowledged the potential damage the tariffs could cause to the Canadian economy, stating that the country was facing a serious challenge. Economic experts have warned that such a large-scale tariff war could push Canada into a recession, with significant job losses and economic instability. The Bank of Canada has expressed grave concerns over the long-term effects, suggesting that a prolonged trade war could lead to severe financial consequences that may take years to reverse. Despite the looming risks, Trudeau reassured Canadians that the federal government would take every possible step to protect workers and businesses. He promised that Ottawa would mobilize its financial resources to support those affected, though he did not announce specific relief measures during his speech. However, he mentioned that the government was considering relaxing employment insurance requirements to assist workers who lose their jobs as a result of the economic fallout. Trump responded swiftly to Trudeau's speech, taking to social media to issue a warning. He threatened to impose additional retaliatory tariffs if Canada proceeded with its countermeasures, stating, "Please explain to Governor Trudeau of Canada that when he puts on a retaliatory tariff on the U.S., our reciprocal tariff will immediately increase by a like amount." Trump's comments signaled that he was not backing down, and that the trade war was likely to escalate further. Despite this, Trudeau remained firm in his resolve, urging Canadians to stand united and resist economic pressure from the United States. He encouraged citizens to buy Canadian-made products and support local industries in an effort to minimize reliance on American imports. As the situation unfolds, the world is closely watching the economic and political ramifications of this escalating trade dispute. Trudeau's firm stance suggests that Canada will not bow to U.S. pressure, even if it means enduring short-term economic pain. With the Canadian government preparing to deploy all available resources to protect its economy, the next few weeks will be crucial in determining the direction of this conflict. Trudeau ended his speech on a note of resilience, calling on Canadians to rally together in this time of uncertainty. "Do not give up," he urged. "This is the time to redouble your efforts. Canada remains the best country in the world." As tensions between the two countries continue to rise, the battle over tariffs has the potential to reshape North American trade for years to come. Whether Trump and Trudeau will find common ground or push their economies further into crisis remains to be seen. And that's the situation. The trade war between Canada and the U.S. is heating up, and neither side seems willing to back down. What do you think? Is Trump right to impose these harsh tariffs, or is Trudeau's retaliation justified? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up. Turn on notifications so you never miss an update. See you in Welcome to my channel.